Hey guys, I always wanted to do this. I hit the midlife crisis thing and basically rented a Dodge Challenger. This is a 2017 model. I'm going to just give you a quick impressions of it. Overall, I fell in love with this car. Absolutely beautiful car from the outside. Inside, super comfortable. If you ever had to test drive a car, like an American muscle car, definitely rent one of these things and just have fun with it. They are extremely fun to drive, and I'll give you my insight on this car. I really like it. I have my good and bad points about it, but here's my quickie insights about it. Overall, I love the detailing of the outsides, the stance, everything. This screams American muscle, and I really love it. I had driven and rented Ford Mustangs before. Of course, I've driven plenty of Japanese and European cars, but this is something I really wanted to try out. So this is, of course, a rental. So they put Econo tires on these. This is the Michelin Primacy touring tires, and they squeal a lot. Overall, the shape of the body is beautiful. The sheet metal is beautiful. If this was in black, it would be awesome. Gray is also very cool. This was a base gray color they had that was glossy gray, which is nice. I liked it. Nothing. I think I prefer something like silver or something, but overall, this is really cool. Even down to the fake vents on the hood. Now, the hood was pretty heavy, but at the same time, they had these fake vents. I'm pretty sure, in the bigger model, like they probably have something more useful for it. But this is a 3.6 liter rental car. Overall, it produces roughly around 270, pounds of torque or something like that. But I just like looking at my rental cars and seeing what's under the hood. And for this one, it's a resonator for the air intake is huge. And also, it uses 5W20 engine oil. 5W20 engine oil, which is basically a fuel efficient engine oil for this car. Huge engine, of course. As you can see, there's no battery in this thing. The battery is actually in the trunk, which I'll show you later. But like all the rentals, I like opening up the hood and taking a look. They didn't fill the coolant, so the coolant's kind of low. So shame on the rental company who did this. They didn't keep their car, but this car is actually coming from Oregon. I like how everything is relatively accessible and easy to look at. The brake fluid is kind of hard to reach, but to be honest, you probably have to pop up that center part to pull it out to get to the brake fluid canopy and cap. There are hydraulics for the hood because the hood is really heavy. The detail on the lights are really nice, especially at nighttime. I love the Challenger logo as well as those halo lights that comes with the car. The driver's side handle, the funny thing is that there's a button on top to unlock and lock the doors, but at the same time the handle goes up and the keyhole actually stays there. The fuel door is really nice. I think that was a nice touch. I love the fonts on the fuel, and it had a nice thunk to it when you open it and close it. Pretty simple to... Yeah, I think the only problem is that when I was refueling this thing, the nozzle was kind of hard to push in. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it, but the nozzle didn't fit into that small cubby hole of it. The back end, the taillights are awesome as well. As you can see from the first few pictures, these were good. This one, it was really awesome too. In terms of the trunk space, it's huge. It's extremely huge. You could throw anything in this thing. If you throw that on the back seats, you could throw in much larger items in there. You probably do multiple IKEA runs and stuff. Underneath the trunk is the spare tire as well as the car battery, which is nice. I like the fact that they use a composite material and hollow material for the trunk canopy, which is nice, and it gives it really strong, stable things. For the hood of the trunk or the trunk lid, I just didn't like I like the fact that it uses hydraulics, but I didn't like the fact that the wiring was that, let's just say, not really that well done. In terms of the seats, I like how it's easily accessible. You get to the back seats by putting the levers on the side, and the seats are extremely comfortable. And then in the back seat, there's okay headroom and stuff, and it's actually not bad for the passenger. Even though it is kind of cramped back there, it still seats 5 total. Of course, there's a huge blind spot for the the Dodge Challenger. The C-pillars are extremely, they block a lot of view, but at least there's coat hangers on the side. The back panel also has vents, so the AC does go to the back, so they won't, basically overheat to death in the back seat. Glove compartment, a lot of spacious glove. There's there's a shelf in there, so you can actually put a lot of stuff in there, but not really a lot, but it's enough. On the passenger side, there's actually, I like this part, they actually have a little net and a place to charge your phone, and also a 12-volt outlet, which is nice. What I found kind of weird was that both driver side and passenger side, the door handle to open the door is below your knee, so you have to kind of reach underneath to pull it and open it. On the driver's side, it's actually it's extremely comfortable. The seats are very comfortable compared to my Chevy Volt and my other cars. It's actually an extremely comfy seat. Compared to like the Ultima, it's actually a little bit better than the Ultima seat because of the lumbar support and stuff like that. Controls, overall it's an awesome steering wheel. The steering wheel is well padded. It's just the right size. All the controls are relatively ergonomic to finger. The buttons on the fingertips are great. I gotta give them kudos for the center console because there's actually ports where you could slide cables through. The little dip there is actually a cable slide, and the cups don't bother. The cup holders are lit. There's LED lights inside the cup holders and accent lights on them as well, which I think was a very nice touch. And shifting this car, you don't really have to deal with it. The cups don't bother you. All the lighting controls are underneath the front vent of the driver's side. Pretty straightforward. Mine, one of the dome lights didn't work. The scrolling buttons didn't work. This is a automatic, but as you can see, that there's the parking brakes with a foot pedal. The dome lights, there's 4, basically 2 in the front and 2 on the sides, which is nice, and they're all halogen lights, which gives a nice yellow glow, which is nice and warm light. But the sides ones are basically on the sides and not in the center of the car. As you can see, there's still large blind spots. Controls for the driver, basically that's just for the mirrors and also the 2 windows and door lock on. It doesn't have an auto up, it only has auto down, which is kind of sad. It took me a long time to hold it. In terms of visor, it does have a little extender of like another 2 inches, when you can extend the visor. I love the shifter as well. Actually, not really. I don't exactly love it. It's nice. But I like how all the buttons are very close to your hands, and it's very ergonomic in that, and for the HVAC controls and also the sport mode buttons and everything. I like the little detailing. I love the dash. The dash is made of really soft touch material, which just feels great. I hated the stereo because it didn't have a backup camera, and it didn't have a good interface with my phone, but that's easily solved by putting a phone vent holder for navigation and stuff. In the glove box, the center console, there is an aux port, a USB port, and also a SD port, which I don't know if anyone actually still uses. Turning on the car, it's pretty awesome. There's the entire center part is a display. I love the retro styling dials and the RPM and also the speed, which is cool. Like that it goes all the way to 160. I'm not sure if it's limited or anything like that, but I do like the lighting and color. I like how they have all the vehicle information, and there's a lot of information that comes with this thing. Even like the screen setups and stuff, and I'll go over that a little bit later. You can actually customize your screens and everything. For the trip info and stuff, it looks like I got, the person before me got about 24 miles a gallon doing highway. And of course I got roughly throughout my entire drive with this car about 12 miles to a gallon. As you can see, the person before me actually has a performance monitor. They actually shifted it where it's 0 to 60 was like at 6.7 or 6.9 seconds. And I like how they actually went, there's actually a thing that where you can go 0 to 60 and you can time yourself, which is, I think every car should have that. I think it's a really fun car. And I think with this muscle car, it's definitely that. For all this vehicle information, I love this too. Coolant temp, but you can't see multiple one. It would be nice if I could see multiple dials and gauges here, so I could see it as I am driving, what my coolant temperature is, and also my MPG and everything. But what you could modify and change is the center, the gear display, odometer. These are all customizable, which is pretty nice. Your odometer as well, you can actually change what you could do. The gear display, single or full, it just shows you either all of them or just partial. So as you change the gear, it'll basically show you which gear it is. Pretty nice. You can customize the odometer, whether it is kilometers or anything else like that. Current gear on off. As well as you can restore all default. The upper right side, you can actually customize whether it's the compass, whether it's trip info or MPGs and stuff like that as well, which is really, really cool. Even the range and stuff and time, you can actually customize it on either side, either the right or left upper side, as well as the center. You can actually change that as well. So let's just put that to outside temperature, and let's move on. You see, you could actually you actually modify the upper left as well. Again, temperature, compass, doesn't matter. You can actually put anything you want here. They give you all of these little options there to change, and not everything you want. As you can see, I got 8.8 miles per gallon. I'm just basically idling. Or you can put the time. Doesn't matter. Center, you can actually change that as well. Change menu titles, digital speed, and of course audio track too, if you want to see your audio, or the compass, or the outside temperature. Like again, all three of those things are customizable, as well as your main view, which is cool. But I'm just sitting here idling, and I could reset stuff as well. So pretty cool. Moving on, basically I'm doing all this with, of course, the steering wheel controls and the D-pad, as well as there are telephone controls on the steering wheel. The lighting for the entire car is on the my left-hand side, and also the dash control lighting and stuff, which is nice. They even have ambient light that turns on if you turn it all the way up, which is nice. I really do love all the controls and the fact that you can switch to a manual mode and basically go up and down. It shows on the dash. See, as you can see really close, it's 1 and basically 2, and it goes ups and down. It's pretty cool. Hazard light, sport mode is awesome. You should always try that. Screen off, just turn off all the screens if you don't want any distraction. And overall, it's an awesome car. I really love this car. I can't wait to drive it again. Again, this is a pretty big car. There are huge blind spots. Anyways, guys, please like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. I just did a quickie review and impression of this car. See you next time.